Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates 830 crore rupee multimodal projects for West Bengal's Singur, also lays foundation stone of Kaziranga elevated corridor project in Assam. EU leaders say US tariffs over Greenland completely unacceptable, mistake and blackmail. French President Macron wants EU to use anti-coercion instrument against these tariffs. Iranian official says verified deaths in protests reach at least 5,000 as authorities consider to gradually restore internet after shutdown. And Daryl Mitchell and Glenn Phillips slammed centuries to take New Zealand at 337 for the loss of 8 wickets against India in the third one-day international in Indore. Ushering in an era of development in West Bengal, Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone of various development projects worth over 830 crore rupees at Singur in Hooghly district of West Bengal on Sunday. Prime Minister Modi laid the foundation stone of the extended port gate system at Balagad, including an inland water transport terminal and a road over bridge. PM also launched state-of-the-art electric catamaran in Kolkata. Prime Minister also inaugurated the Joyrambati Borongo Pinathpur Moyanpur new rail line as well as a new train service between Moyanpur and Joyrambati. Prime Minister flagged off 3 Amrit Bharat Express trains including Kolkata Anand Vihar Terminal Amrit Bharat Express, Kolkata Banaras Amrit Bharat Express, Kolkata Tambaram Amrit Bharat Express. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister spoke of seamless connectivity as development of the East is important to facilitate the vision of developed India, Viksit Bharat.
Seamless transportation संभव हो सके, इसके लिए पोर्ट, नदी जलमार्ग, हाईवे और एयरपोर्ट्स इन सभी को आपस में कनेक्ट किया जा रहा है। इससे लॉजिस्टिक कॉस्ट और ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में लगने वाले टाइम दोनों में कमी आ रही है। साथियों, हमारी कोशिश ये भी है कि हमारे ट्रांसपोर्ट के माध्यम नेचर फ्रेंडली भी हो। हाइब्रिड इलेक्ट्रिक नाव से रिवर ट्रांसपोर्ट और ग्रीन मोबिलिटी दोनों को बल मिलेगा।
Later, Prime Minister Modi addressed a public rally in Singur where a large number of people had gathered, including BJP workers, supporters, displaying strong enthusiasm and participation. In his address, the Prime Minister said that the people of West Bengal are determined to oust the ruling Trinamool Congress and put an end to what he described the 15-year mega jungle Raj under the Mamata Banerjee-led government.
टीएमसी सरकार केंद्र सरकार की योजनाओं को आप तक ठीक से पहुंचने ही नहीं देती। अरे भाई, अगर इनको मोदी से परेशानी है, ये तो मैं समझ सकता हूं। इनको बीजेपी से दुश्मनी है, ये भी समझ में आता है। लेकिन टीएमसी तो बंगाल के लोगों से अपनी दुश्मनी निकाल रही है। टीएमसी यहां के नौजवानों, यहां की माताओं बहनों, यहां के किसानों से दुश्मनी ठाने हुए है।
Earlier in the day, Prime Minister Modi, on a visit to the eastern state of Assam, received warm felicitations as he arrived in Kaliabor in Nagaon district of the state. Prime Minister Modi laid the foundation stone for the ambitious Kaziranga elevated corridor project involving four-laning of the Kaliabor-Numaligarh section of National Highway 715 at a cost of over 6,950 crore rupees. The 86-kilometer-long Kaziranga elevated corridor project is an environmentally conscious national highway project. It will feature 35 kilometers of elevated wildlife corridor that will pass through Kaziranga National Park, 21-kilometer bypass section and 30-kilometer widening of the existing highway section of National Highway 715 from 2 to 4 lanes. The project aims to improve regional connectivity while ensuring protection of the park's rich biodiversity. Prime Minister Modi also virtually flagged off two new Amrit Bharat Express trains. These are Guwahati-Kamakhya-Rohtak Amrit Bharat Express train and the Dibrugarh-Lucknow-Gomti-Nagar Amrit Bharat Express. These new train services will strengthen rail connectivity between the northeast and northern India, enabling safer and more convenient travel for people. Earlier, Prime Minister Modi also reviewed the model of the Kaziranga elevated corridor project. The project will pass through Nagaon, Karbi Anglong and Golaghat districts and will significantly improve connectivity to Upper Assam, particularly Dibrugarh and Tinsukia regions. The elevated wildlife corridor will ensure uninterrupted movement of animals, reduce human-wildlife conflict. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister Modi recalled the time when rhino poaching was a major concern in the area, with dozens of one-horned rhinos killed in 2013. Prime Minister Modi mentioned that not a single case of rhino poaching has been reported in 2025 due to government's political will and the efforts of the Assamese people.
एक समय था जब काजीरंगा में राइनो के शिकार की घटनाएं असम की सबसे बड़ी चिंता बन चुकी थी। 2013 और 14 में एक सींग वाले दर्जनों राइनो मारे गए। भाजपा सरकार ने तय किया था कि हम ये नहीं चलने देंगे। अब ऐसा नहीं चलेगा। हमने इसके बाद सुरक्षा व्यवस्था को नए सिरे से मजबूत किया। वन विभाग को आधुनिक संसाधन मिले, निगरानी तंत्र सशक्त हुआ, वन दुर्गा के रूप में महिलाओं की भागीदारी बढ़ाई गई। इसका सुखद परिणाम भी सामने आया। 2025 में राइनो के शिकार की एक भी घटना सामने नहीं आई है।
Emphasizing that expanding rail connectivity benefits both social and economic levels, Prime Minister Modi said that the northeastern state of Assam has received 5 times more allocation in the rail budget to nearly 10,000 crore rupees annually.
जब हम रेल कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ाते हैं तो इसका फायदा सामाजिक और आर्थिक दोनों स्तरों पर होता है। इसलिए नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लिए कनेक्टिविटी का विस्तार बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। लेकिन कांग्रेस ने कभी इसकी परवाह नहीं की। मैं आपको एक आंकड़ा देता हूं। जब कांग्रेस की केंद्र में सरकार थी तो असम को बहुत कम रेल बजट मिलता था, लगभग 2000 करोड़ रुपए। अब भाजपा सरकार में इसे बढ़ाकर लगभग 10,000 करोड़ रुपए सालाना कर दिया गया है।
Further, Prime Minister Modi warned that infiltrators are disturbing the demographic balance in the state, attacking culture of local people, snatching jobs from the poor and youth, and fraudulently occupying land in tribal areas, posing a grave threat to both Assam and national security.
साथियों, ये घुसपैठिए आबादी का संतुलन बिगाड़ रहे हैं, हमारी संस्कृति पर हमले कर रहे हैं, गरीब का, नौजवान का रोजगार छीन रहे हैं, आदिवासी क्षेत्रों में धोखे से लोगों की जमीन पर कब्जा कर रहे हैं। ये असम और देश की सुरक्षा दोनों के लिए बहुत बड़ा खतरा है। साथियों, कांग्रेस से आपको बहुत सावधान रहना है। कांग्रेस की एक ही नीति है, घुसपैठियों को बचाओ, घुसपैठियों की मदद से सत्ता पाओ। पूरे देश में कांग्रेस और उसके साथी यही कर रहे हैं।
On to West Asia now. An Iranian official on Sunday said that at least 5,000 people have been killed during nationwide protests, including around 500 security personnel. The official blamed what they described as foreign-backed terrorists and armed rioters for the violence, adding that the final toll was not expected to rise sharply. However, rights groups have disputed official casualty figures, with some reports suggesting that the death toll possibly could be as high as 20,000. Earlier, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei blamed US President Donald Trump for weeks of protests after rights groups said that a violent crackdown by security forces had claimed thousands of lives. In another development, Iranian authorities have said that they were considering gradual restoration of internet access after imposing an unprecedented nationwide communications blackout during the unrest. Limited connectivity was reported in Tehran, with international calls and text messaging partially restored, while officials said that local messaging apps would soon be activated on Iran's intranet. US envoy Tom Barrack met Syrian Democratic Forces commander General Mazloum Abdi and Iraqi Kurdish leader Masoud Barzani in Erbil in northern Iraq. The meeting sought to ease fighting between SDF and Syrian army troops in the country. The recent clashes in Aleppo followed stalled talks on integrating Kurdish institutions into the Syrian state. Syrian forces, backed by Arab tribal allies, seized the Omar oil field and Kondoko gas facility in Deir Zor, a major setback for the US-backed SDF. Despite US appeals, the Syrian army continues advancing into Kurdish-held areas. Syrian President Ahmad al-Shara, meanwhile, issued a decree affirming the rights of the Kurdish Syrians, formally recognizing their language and restoring citizenship to all Kurdish Syrians. State news agency Sana reported that Shara's decree came after fierce clashes that broke out last week in the northern city of Aleppo, leaving at least 23 dead and forcing more than 150,000 to flee the two Kurdish-run pockets of the city. The clashes ended after Kurdish fighters withdrew. The decree for the first time grants Kurdish Syrians rights, including recognition of Kurdish identity as part of Syria's national fabric. It designates Kurdish as a national language alongside Arabic and allows schools to teach it. The decree declares Nowruz, the Spring and the New Year festival, a paid national holiday. It bans ethnic or linguistic discrimination, requires state institutions to adopt inclusive national messaging, and sets penalties for incitement to ethnic strife. On to Gaza now. Well, Donald Trump's ambitious Gaza peace plan is getting reactions. Donald Trump has invited King Abdullah of Jordan to join the newly created Gaza Board of Peace. Jordanian Foreign Ministry said it was currently reviewing the related documents within the country's internal legal procedures. Earlier, President Trump invited the leaders of Egypt, Turkey, Argentina and Canada to join the Board of Peace. The board is being set up to oversee security, governance and reconstruction in Gaza following a UN-backed ceasefire under Trump's 20-point peace plan. Meanwhile, on Sunday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu convened a meeting of his ruling coalition partners after objecting to the composition of the Gaza Advisory Panel. The Office of Israeli Prime Minister said that the announcement regarding the Gaza Board of Peace and its composition, which is subordinate to the Board of Peace, this one Gaza Executive Board, was not coordinated with Israel and runs contrary to its policy. On to Europe now. Ambassadors from the European Union's 27 countries will convene on Sunday for an emergency meeting after US President Donald Trump vowed a wave of increasing tariffs on European allies until the United States is allowed to buy Greenland. Trump said 10% tariffs would take effect on February 1st on imports from Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, Great Britain, the Netherlands and Finland. Tariffs may rise to 25% on June 1st and the remaining in place until a deal is reached. European leaders criticized the move, backing Denmark, and warned that the proposed tariff could undermine NATO and destabilize transatlantic ties. European countries said that they were coordinating a response, while EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said that these tariffs harm the prosperity on both sides of the Atlantic. Meanwhile, protesters gathered in Nuuk to protest against Trump's plans for the US to take over the Danish autonomous territory. Take a listen.
I live in danger. I also don't get so much sleep because in all the news there, I see this about Donald Trump wants to buy Greenland. And Greenland is not for sale, and we will never be for sale.
It's quite a big pressure from the whole world for us to take decision. We didn't never ask to have this situation. We never asked for this position we have right now, a situation. So we just want to live in peace and quiet in our country. So we hope this pressure will be removed from us.
I have completely lost for words for what he's doing now. It's just completely insane.
Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni called US President Trump's threat to slap tariffs on opponents of his plan to seize Greenland a mistake, adding that she had told him her views earlier.
I wanted to tell you that the perspective of an increase in tariffs for countries that have chosen to contribute to Greenland's security, in my views, it is a mistake and I do not agree with it. I share the US presidency's focus on Greenland and the Arctic, which is a strategic area where excessive interference by actors that may be hostile must be avoided. But I believe that, in this sense, the intention of some European countries to send troops to take part in greater security should have been understood not as an initiative directed against the United States, but rather against other actors.
Foreign Minister of the Netherlands, David Van Wiel, said that Trump's warning to impose new tariffs on European allies on the Greenland issue is inappropriate. Irish Foreign Affairs Minister also described the tariffs being proposed by Trump over European allies' stance on Greenland were completely unacceptable.
This is not how allies should treat each other. And in that sense, I understand the word blackmail. Yes, absolutely. We have until February 1st to really present a united front, to make it clear that we do not find this acceptable. And we have also stated that, as far as we are concerned, the territorial integrity and self-determination of Greenland and Denmark are not up for discussion. But we also believe that the use of trade tariffs in this way is inappropriate and moreover unnecessary. So that will be our message.
You're watching DD India Live, still to come on the show. Indian leaders arrive in Switzerland's Zurich to participate in this year's World Economic Forum. And Indian Railways introduce regional menus on Vande Bharat sleeper trains.
geopolitics and trade deals, economic challenges amid development, hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Thank you for staying with us on DD India Live. I am Tanvi Taneja. More from Europe. The first wave of attendees descended upon the Swiss town of Davos on Sunday, a day before the official start of this year's World Economic Forum, WEF. Dubbing its 56th edition a spirit of dialogue, WEF leaders say that given the current uncertainty in the world, the gathering together maps out a way forward in business and politics. The World Economic Forum said that over 3,000 delegates from more than 130 countries will attend, including 64 heads of state and government, particularly from emerging economies. Union Ministers Prahlad Joshi, K. Ram Mohan Naidu, Maharashtra's Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, meanwhile, arrived at Zurich to participate in the World Economic Forum. All three leaders were warmly received at the airport by Indian Ambassador to Switzerland, Mridul Kumar. On a post on X, Devendra Fadnavis said that he was deeply touched by the enthusiastic welcome and affectionate traditional greeting by Marathi brothers and sisters at the picturesque town of Zurich. Indian Railways back home is rolling out a new passenger-friendly initiative on its Vande Bharat sleeper trains. In a move aimed at enhancing onboard experience, travellers are now being served region-specific local cuisines based on the train's point of origin. The initiative is drawing positive feedback from passengers who say the quality, taste and overall service mark a noticeable upgrade in the long-distance premium rail travel.
To enhance passenger experience, the Indian Railways has introduced a new onboard catering initiative. People travelling on the recently launched Vande Bharat sleeper trains will be able to enjoy local cuisines of the point of origin of the train. The unique initiative has been welcomed by passengers who have praised the taste and quality of the food.
जैसा माननीय रेल मंत्री जी ने अपने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में बताया था कि हम लोग आसाम से अगर ट्रेन खुलेगी तो आसाम का फूड देंगे और वेस्ट बंगाल से खुलेगी ट्रेन तो वेस्ट बंगाल का फूड मिलेगा। तो मालदा से आज ट्रेन खुली थी और हम लोग को एकदम बंगाल का ऑथेंटिक खाना मिला। अच्छा खाना था, स्वादिष्ट खाना था, हम लोग बहुत अच्छे से खाए।
लंच ये क्या कि ये बंगाली टाइप का लंच हमको मिला, जो कि मिठाई था गुड़ वाली और दही थी मिष्टी वाली, पुलाव भी लगभग बंगाली कल्चर का था। ये बहुत ही स्वादिष्ट खाना और लोकल कल्चर का खाना हमको लगा। बहुत जी बहुत लोकल सर्व खाना था और खाना की क्वालिटी भी बहुत अच्छी थी। सारी चीज व्यवस्था बहुत अच्छी थी, पैकिंग से लेकर के खाना का सारी व्यवस्था।
In addition to the culinary experience, some passengers also observed the noticeable improvements in presentation, hygiene and overall service standards in the Vande Bharat sleeper trains.
इस ट्रेन में अभी तक इंडिया में स्लीपर ऐसे फर्स्ट कोच हम लोगों का एक्सपीरियंस मिल रहा है। बहुत ही अच्छा सुविधा है। क्लीनिंग के बारे में तो एक नंबर है। इससे बढ़िया हम लोग आज तक देखा ही नहीं कि क्लीनिंग की व्यवस्था, टॉयलेट की व्यवस्था, फ्लैशिंग जो भी है सब कुछ। खाना वगैरह टेस्टी बहुत है, लोकल फूड भी अवेलेबल सब कुछ है।
With region-specific menus on Vande Bharat sleeper trains, Indian Railways aims to blend comfort with cultural identity, offering passengers not just a journey, but a glimpse of India's diverse culinary heritage.
Nepal's upper house opened its 19th session at the National Assembly's old building in Singur. At the start of the session, members led by Chairperson Narayan Prasad Daryl observed a minute of silence in honor of democracy martyrs. Elections to fill 19 National Assembly seats are scheduled for January 25th, with the next meeting set for January 22nd. Three-member 3 members have resigned ahead of their 4th March term expiry to contest in the House of Representatives elections, submitting their resignations to Chairperson Daryl. And on to sports news now. Well, Daryl, Mitchell and Glenn Phillips struck centuries as New Zealand posted 337 runs for the loss of 8 wickets against India in their 3rd and final one-day international currently underway in Indore. New Zealand slipped to 5 runs for the loss of 2 wickets after being invited to bat first. But this was before Mitchell and Phillips put on a 219 runs for the 4th wicket. Mitchell made 137 and Phillips hit 106 to take the New Zealand attack to the opposition bowlers as New Zealand look for their first ODI series victory in India. This was Mitchell's 2nd ton of the series. He hit match-winning 131 not out in the previous match to level the 3-match series 1-1. In reply, the hosts were 28 runs for the loss of 1 wicket in 4 overs when reports last came in. And on to Australian Open now. 3rd seed Alexander Zverev overcame a shaky start to reach the 2nd round of the tournament. Zverev dropped the first set but came back to beat Canada's Gabriel Diallo 6-7, 6-1, 6-4, 6-2 on the opening day. A finalist last year, the German looked rusty early on but settled in the 2nd set and soon got his big serve booming, firing down 15 aces to move into the next round. In women's singles, 7-seeded Jasmine Paolini of Italy outclassed Belarusian qualifier Alexandra Sasnovich 6-1, 6-2. Elena Svitolina, the Ukrainian 12th seed, eased past Kristina Buksov of Spain 6-4, 6-1. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles at DD India Live. And you can also download DD India mobile app for quick news and updates on the go. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.